Hi everybody, Paisley Imperfect here again, and today we're going to take the be of good cheer thing just a little bit further. I got thinking about it, and being of good cheer, it really bleeds into all of the other things that President Nelson has told us that he needs from strong women of the church, right? So, you may remember the list. I shared the list of things from President Nelson and Sister Eubank back, I think it was episode 9. It's the one called We Are Needed, Us and Our Strong Personalities. And I'll give a quick rundown here just in a quick second. As I thought about being of good cheer and I thought about this list of qualities, characteristics, things that the church and the world need from us as strong women, I started to think of the difference between approaching them cheerfully, because remember, distinct and different in happy ways, right? From President Nelson's talk and President Kimball. The difference between approaching each one of these things cheerfully versus not cheerfully. Okay, so a quick rundown of these qualities, and think about these as we go through them. Think about how to, or think about the difference between if you approach it cheerfully versus begrudgingly, or not cheerfully, just not cheerfully. Let's not get dramatic. The first one is love, happiness. How do you approach happiness not cheerfully? Virtue, intuition, gifts from God, the gift and power of discernment, building strong relationships, administering, teaching fearlessly, organizing, leading, strengthening children and families, understanding the power and peace of the temple endowment, our own conversion, our ability to receive personal revelation, our voices, our callings, our conviction, being courageous defenders of truth, and protecting children and families. There's strengthening children and families, and then there's protecting children and families. So again, think about the difference between approaching these things with a cheerful heart versus not. Which approach do you think would be most effective? It's a rhetorical question. Duh. The answer is pretty obvious, right? But in our crazy sin-sick world, what is there exactly to be cheerful about? There's a lot of stuff going on in this world, and the media does a really good job of pointing out all of the junk. So what is there to be cheerful about? And when I asked myself that question, and then I sat there and stared at it for a second, there were a couple of things that came to mind. The first thing that came to my mind for myself, things to be cheerful about, when we've been apart for a couple of hours, when we come back together again, my husband, my daughters, and I, like after school, or maybe I've gone out running errands for a few hours and I come home. When my husband gets home from work, the smiles and just the happiness to be back together again, that makes me cheerful. The second thing that popped into my mind was my knowledge of the plan of happiness. That also makes me cheerful. Gives me reason to be cheerful, reason to be happy. And then I got curious and I opened up a fairly well-known AI tool and I asked it this question exactly. I typed in our crazy messed up world, what exactly is there to be cheerful about? So the same question I asked myself, I'm now going to ask this AI tool. Now, something to know about AI tools, they're trainable. You can train them. They learn. That's part of artificial intelligence, right? You teach them things, they learn things, and they spit things out based on the things that you've taught them and things that they've learned. I use this AI tool pretty frequently when I can't think of exactly the right way to say something, especially when I'm posting stuff online. for Paisley. And so this particular AI tool is trained to give me the answers that I want, or the answers that it thinks that I want. And so here's what it told me. Number one. So again, the question was, in our crazy, messed up world, what exactly is there to be cheerful about? And it gave me 6 things. Number one, God's love and plan. Knowing that we are children of God with a divine purpose can bring a deep sense of peace and joy. His love is constant, and he has a plan for each of us, even when life feels uncertain. True. And something perfect for me. Number 2, small acts of kindness. In the midst of negativity, kindness still thrives. Simple acts of love, whether given or received, can be powerful reminders of goodness in the world. Yes, we can be cheerful about small acts of kindness, and we can be cheerful and happy that they still exist, that people are still doing these things. Number 3, growth and learning. Every challenge we face offers an opportunity for growth. We can be cheerful in knowing that through our trials, we are being refined and strengthened. That one's a little tougher. That one's a little bit tougher to swallow because that one requires that we be grateful for our trials. Not necessarily while we are experiencing them, but we can find cheer or happiness or gladness or gratitude in knowing. Gratitude is number 4, so spoiler alert. But we can be cheerful in knowing that the outcome of our trials is growth and refinement. We are becoming closer to our Savior and more like him. So number 4, gratitude. Focusing on blessings, even small ones, can bring a shift in perspective. Being thankful for things like family, nature, or even a simple act of service can spark joy. Number 5, community and support. The love and support of family, friends, and faith communities can provide us with strength and comfort, and provide us with something to be cheerful about. I just added that one in there myself. I love to go to church on Sundays. I just do. I love to be around my ward family. I'm not going to pretend like I love everybody in my ward. I don't know anybody who loves everybody in their ward. There's always the one person, right? But I love being around other people that I can share my testimony with on Sundays. So community and support, something we can find cheerfulness in. And then number 6, Christ's atonement. Through the Savior, we have the promise of peace, healing, and hope for a brighter future. His infinite sacrifice means that we can overcome anything, and that should give us a great cause for cheer. Because of his atonement, we can overcome everything, anything and everything. Hope for a brighter future, that may or may not be in this life. Hope for a brighter future, we have eternity. We're looking at this through an eternal lens. It may not get better. In fact, I think we all know that the world is going to get worse before it gets better, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So those are 6 pretty strong reasons to be cheerful, but honestly, it deepened my curiosity, because each one of those reasons is also very specific to Christians, and a few of them are very, very specific to members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so it deepened my curiosity. It got me thinking about, well, what about other people? What do they find cheerfulness in? If they don't believe that Christ has come yet and performed the atonement, what do they find? How do they find their cheerfulness? If they don't believe in Jesus Christ at all, how do they find their cheerfulness? What is it that they... So I went to a different AI tool, one that I don't use very often and rarely use for Paisley stuff. I went to a different AI tool and I asked it the exact same question. Here's what it came back with. In our tumultuous world, finding reasons to be cheerful can be challenging, but it's essential for our well-being. Here are a few ways you can cultivate cheerfulness. And I'm going to stop right there. Yes, it gave me 3 ways, and I'll share those in just a second. But first, I wanted to point out 2 really important things in that statement. Number one, being cheerful is essential for our well-being. It's not just a gospel principle. It's a mental health necessity. Everybody needs to find cheer in something. And then number two, the list it gave me was not a list of things to be cheerful about. It was a list of ways to cultivate, create, develop cheerfulness. So it wasn't things to be happy about. It was ways to make yourself happy, sort of. Okay, so here's the list. Ready? Number one, smile on purpose. Even during tough times, intentionally smile. It can positively impact your mood and those around you. Number two, hold your tongue. When tempted to complain or criticize, pause. Silence can prevent regrettable words and help you navigate stress gracefully. Just take a pause. Is this something I need to say? Is it something that needs to be said? If the answer is yes, just say it. If the answer is maybe not right now, save it. And then number three, fake it till you make it. Sometimes acting cheerful, even when you don't feel it, can lead to genuine positivity. Try faking a laugh or confidence when needed. I'm not sure that I completely endorse number three. Number one feels a little forced. I mean, it is. Smile on purpose, right? You are purposely, the advice is to smile until you feel it, which number three is fake it till you make it. They're both kind of the same. I don't know. Today's world is all about being authentic, right? Be your authentic self. I don't know how to smile on purpose. We've talked about this before in other episodes. I am not blessed with a smiley face. I am blessed with a resting grump face. Smiling on purpose gives me a face ache. It's like a headache, but it's in your face. Smiling on purpose makes my face tired, and at the end of the day, it hurts. So smiling on purpose is very difficult. I'm not saying that it won't work. We should probably try it. Those are the three ways that our friendly AI gave us to try and cultivate cheerfulness. Now, if you're faking it till you make it, or if you're smiling on purpose, yes, it can have an effect on those around you. They think you're happy, they're happy. Anyway, okay. The hold your tongue one, yes. The hold your tongue one, that's just general good advice, in my opinion. When you're tempted to complain or criticize, take a pause. We're trying to cultivate, create, develop. We're trying to cultivate cheerfulness. So complaining or criticizing, probably not the best way to go. It's the other two, the smile on purpose and the fake it till you make it, that I kind of struggle with a little bit. It might just be me, though. I'd love to hear your opinion. This other AI also provided a link to a site called Reasons to be Cheerful. I'll make sure and put a link in the episode description. I had no idea that there was a website for that. Reasons to be Cheerful. I think it was reasonstobecheerful.world. But again, I'll make sure it's in the video description. Also, just so you know, I checked the website and they have recent content. So, they had something that they posted today. So it's even current. Somebody has taken the initiative and brought it upon themselves to make sure that they are getting good content out there under Reasons to be Cheerful. I thought that was really cool. Okay, so that list of 6 other things that the first AI gave us, God's love and plan, small acts of kindness, growth and learning, gratitude, community and support, and Christ's atonement, I could go back through the church's website and find quotes about each one of those and how and what it means to be cheerful about each one of those things and why those are things that we can be cheerful about. We all know that we could go back and find quotes for that. I don't think we need to. I think that what we've been given is fine. I will say this, though, and I know that I've said this before, but it's been a while, so I'll say it again. I think that the world has happiness and cheerfulness confused with excitement and thrill. I don't think that's what happiness or cheerfulness means. And I think if you sit and you think about the differences between cheerful and happiness, joy, versus excitement and thrill, maybe some stimulation, I think we're talking about two different things. But the world likes to confuse happiness and cheerfulness with excitement and thrill to get you to think that you have to have excitement and thrill in your life in order to be happy. And I just think that that's one of the big messages that the world is trying to confuse us with right now. Anyway, that's it for today. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Keep learning, keep growing, and be of good cheer. And until next time, my friends, thank you.